Good people, it's Carla Piarva of CarlaPiarva.com. And I was thinking about you today because I am always thinking about you. And today, as I was thinking about you, as you can see from the title in the description down below, I was thinking about how a lot of people believe that their purpose is their decision. And that is so after many years of really being on this purpose journey and helping other people find and walk out their purpose, it still baffles me how so many people are really disgruntled and upset about the purpose that God has for them, or that they believe that they have a choice as to what their purpose actually is. And they get upset with God when we go through the process of finding their purpose. And sometimes, they're like, well, I really don't want to do that. Or I don't, I want to do this, because they find something, they think of some other people's purposes or things that they could want to do as more glamorous, or, people always got that grass is greener on the other side mentality. And when they get over there, they find out it's just grass. It's one of those things. It's that a lot of times we don't think about the fact that God knows best. And as I was thinking about that, I was like, I want to share a couple of reasons why we should really understand that our purpose is not our decision. It's not up to us, and that God knows best. And one of the reasons, the first reason I would talk about is that because we can get tricked by Satan. That's the very first thing. We do have a very real adversary. We do have a very real enemy. Even though people, there's a movie, I forget what it's called. It was a good movie too. Anyway, but one of the things he says there's the best trick that the devil ever played on humanity was convincing us that he didn't exist. And it's true. But whether you believe he exists or not, the very fact of the matter is it's true. And he's out. The Bible tells that he's out trying to seek he's looking for who he can devour. And our job is to not be devourable. And that goes for our purpose too. Just thinking about how there's so many entrepreneurs, and I was working with one in particular, and he's all over the place. We were trying to figure out what his purpose was and how to walk out the purpose for his life. But first we had to get to, okay, what is the purpose? What does God have purpose for you? And he was over here and he was over there. And as we're going through this process, I had to keep trying to hone him in and bring him back in and say, no, follow the path, because as soon as he saw something, he'd be like, oh, but I want to do this. And I was like, for real. And that was a prime example of Satan. Now we finally did get to the point of what his purpose actually was, but that's a prime example of how Satan tricks people. He will have you all over the place doing all kind of things that God didn't call you to do, and then you get there and then you're miserable. Now we got to go find something else to do. And then you get there and you're miserable. And you're going to find something else to do, because he's going to wave these shiny things in your face. But if we work with the Holy Spirit, or to find our purpose, he's not going to wave a whole bunch of shiny things in your face. He's going to guide you along a path. Satan is just throwing things out that's going to distract you. And that's one of the reasons that it's important that we understand that God knows best, that he knows what our purpose is. He created us. And we can get easily distracted, and if we're not careful, we can be tricked of the enemy on what our purpose is, and wind up with this life that's not fulfilling, it's miserable, it's not sustaining our life, it's not helping anybody, and we never find our purpose. We're just all over the place and still unfulfilled and confused and frustrated. So that's one reason that we really need to focus on letting Holy Spirit, letting God lead us into our purpose. The next reason I would say is because of our flesh. Man, the flesh, a lot of times we blame Satan for the flesh, but a lot of times it's the flesh. I'll just give you a little example. I remember, it wasn't too long ago, it wasn't too many years ago, I wanted to find a job. And you do, I wanted to find a job. I wanted a job so bad. I wanted a job. I was doing my business and doing okay, but I wanted a job because I love people. Trust me, I do. I love people. I love you. You guys know I love you. Because I say it all the time. But I love people, and I want to do a job where I love people. Even though this job, what my business is geared towards loving people. I love people. I want to do this job. I want a job. So I went out and I found a job. working with developmentally disabled. Okay. Now, all through the process of applying for this job, interviewing for this job, and everything, the Holy Spirit was telling me, I didn't tell you to do that. I did not tell you to do that. I did not tell you to do that. But I just want a job. I want to help people so bad. He's like, you're helping people. You're helping them find and walk out the purpose I give them. But I was like, oh no, I want a job. I want a job. I want a job. So I get this job. And I remember the first day I got the job. First day I get there, I sat down at the desk and I turned on my light. The very first day, they showed me my desk. I sit down at my desk. I flick on the light. And I was like, what the heck am I doing here? Why am I here? I don't want to be here. I looked around like, I could just feel it. It was in the air. It was like, you don't belong here. But I would, I'm done took the job now, right? So now I started working the job. Ooh, that was the most horrific. That was the most horrific experience I had ever had working. I quit 3 months in. I did quit 3 months in. But it was the most horrific experience I had ever had in any job situation at all. But my flesh wanted to help people. My flesh wanted to do this honorable job. My flesh I love people. So my flesh told me I needed a job. That was me. That was not Satan. That was me. I should have quit when I walked in there and sat down at that desk. It was like I could feel it in the air that I wasn't supposed to be there. But I should have never took it when the Holy Spirit was telling me in that interview, girl, get up and leave. But my flesh, because that wasn't what I was purposed to do. As wonderful as it is to help developmentally disabled people, and they are some of the sweetest people you ever meet, it wasn't for me. I shouldn't have been there. I shouldn't have been there, and I was not fulfilling my purpose, even being there. Even though I love people and my job is to help people, it wasn't to help them in that capacity. And a lot of times our flesh will lead us into situations that are, even though they are honorable, even though they are good, even though they are wonderful things, our flesh will tell us to do things that are outside of our purpose, that leave us miserable, that are not allowing us to do that thing that God purposed us to do, which means we are not advancing the kingdom. We are not sustaining our life with financially. We are not living a fulfilled life, and we are barely helping anybody in this job that we want so much, in this position we want so much, because our flesh got us there instead of the Lord. Okay, so that's another reason we really need to understand that. Let God lead us into our purpose. He knows best. The last thing I would say, the last reason I'm going to give about purpose is fad. Oh my God. I'm just telling you, I'm so sick of the next big thing. I'm so sick of the next big thing. I'm going to tell you this. Everybody has a purpose, but your purpose is not to be famous. Okay? Your purpose is not the next big thing. Your purpose is not to run along with your friends and whatever they're doing. We're looking at the fattest thing, the best thing, oh, everybody's doing this, everybody's doing that. I'm gonna give you a real simple example of that. This is funny. I shouldn't have laughed, but it was funny. My daughter, she's so sweet. My daughter was in a theater program, right? She loves theater. She loves movies. She loves acting. She likes the behind the scenes and things like that, directing and things like that. So she was in we put her in a theater program to see how she would do. She loved it. She was excelling. She was doing wonderful in it. But her little girlfriends at church, because she was homeschooled, but her little girlfriends at church were all in like this track program, and they were running track, and everybody's running track, and Raina, you should run track, you should run track with us, you should run track. So she kept saying how she wanted to quit the theater program and she wanted to go run track. And I'm like, my daughter has never done anything physical in her life. I know she's a size 00 whatever, but you see her, she looks athletic, but she ain't. Okay. So she just, so I'm not gonna argue with her. She's a teenager at this point. I'm not gonna argue with her. Fine. She quits the theater program. She joins track. The second week of track practice, somehow, I ain't never seen nobody do this before in their life. Somehow, she pulled both her hamstrings. Same time. How she did that, I don't know. But it's not funny. It was funny. Yes, it was. It was funny then. But she pulled both her hamstrings at the same time, right? So my husband gets her all to the car or whatever. So she has to go through her physical therapy, and she's sitting with her legs on the back of the sofa because she has to keep her legs up and everything. So she rehabilitates from that, and physical therapy's out of that. But she still wants, I'm going to run track. That child never won a race. She was the last place in every race. Every race she ran the whole season. The whole season. Because she wanted to follow her little friends. Here's the thing, she hated the track meets. She loved track practice. Why did she love track practice? Because she got to socialize. But she hated the track meets. Because she hated coming in last. Guess what my daughter does right now? She's in film school. Walking out her purpose with her hamstrings intact. I say all that to say, don't follow your friends. Your friends have their own purpose. There are people that are their purpose is going to make them famous. There are things that are going to look glitzy and going to look glamorous. Guess what? It might not be for you. Okay? It's a fad. Fad does not make purpose. Your purpose is for you. It's not necessarily going to be for everybody else. Okay? It's for you. It's not necessarily going to be for everybody else. And purpose doesn't travel in packs. Purpose does not travel in packs. So just because your friends are doing it doesn't mean it's for you. You need to work with the Holy Spirit. Talk to the Lord. There's a whole process. And yes, I do have a whole program on how to find and walk out your purpose. And yes, I am working on the publishing of the book. There's the publishing of the book. It's going to come out. The book will have that whole process in it. But if you're looking for that right now, you can click the link in the description box and find out how to work with me. And we can go through that, how to find and walk out, how to find and live out your purpose process even before the book comes out. But I am working on the publishing of the book. Still haven't heard back from this one publisher I really want to work with. We're going to find out. But the process is working with the Holy Spirit and letting the Lord give you purpose and not having a bad attitude when he doesn't tell you what you want to hear. Because I'm telling you, I promise you, even if it's not something that you feel is glamorous, even if it's not something that you think that you want to do, once you get into that purpose and you start walking out that purpose, it will be the most fulfilling, rewarding, financially sustaining, kingdom building thing you will have ever done. I promise you it will. And you will be loving life based on doing the thing, walking out that purpose that God told you to walk out. Okay? That's all I want to talk to you about today. I just figure I'm like, a lot of people are upset about, not having the purpose that they want, and they get upset with God. And I'm like, please stop it. Cut it out. Okay? God got you. Like I said, you can go ahead and click the link in my bio. You can go see where else I am on social media, because I think I'm on Instagram. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, or because I do like a couple more videos per week on Instagram. They're shorter, but I do a couple more videos per week on Instagram. But I love talking to you. I love you. Let's walk out this purpose thing together. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.